Hey people, this next sequence is a Pilates sequence and it's designed to strengthen and mobilize your body. There's a bit of a whole body focus. It's not going to be a long sequence, it's going to be pretty short, so hopefully 10 minutes or so, and you should be feeling fairly steady and like you've had some good work after this. Start by lying down on your back, soles of your feet to the ground, knees bent, and arms just down beside you. And take a couple of breaths. Start to focus on expanding outwards through the sides of your rib cage as you breathe in. So allowing the pressure of your lungs to expand. And then everything falls back in as you breathe out. We're going to take a pelvic tilt, so bring your hands to the fronts of your hips. And then you're just going to arch your lower back so it feels like you're pressing your butt further down toward the ground, but your lower back is lifting to a degree. And then rock your pelvis back so your lower back presses into the ground and you come into that posterior tilt. So the anterior tilt is where the tops of your hips press forward and lower back lifts. Posterior tilt, press lumbar spine into the ground. The tops of your hips rock backwards. As you rock like this, notice on that posterior tilt how your lower belly muscles draw in as you try to press your lower back into the ground, and that's your core just starting to engage gently. Just one more time like that. And then arms on the ground beside you. As you rock the hips back, press into your heels and then start to lift the backs of your hips off the ground, come up into a pelvic curl or a bridge or a ramp shape, however you know this, and rolling vertebrae by vertebrae back down to the ground. Lifting back up again so you can keep the pelvic tilt at the end of the bridge movement. Rolling back down again, really exaggerate through the rounding of the shoulders and then rock your hips forward so your lower back arches. Rock the hips back and then start to peel butt, lumbar spine, thoracic spine up off the ground. One more time down, rolling bridge and lift. Stay high here, halfway down and lift. So it's halfway down, glutes are still strong. You come down to the point where you feel like it's a really big effort to stay and then lift back up. Halfway. Exhale as you lift. Ground your heels a little bit more. If you feel like your feet are too far away, walk them in a little closer towards your butt. Now hold up here. Turn your toes out, but keep your feet in pretty much the same position they were in, so your heels are still hip distance apart. Draw knees in, try to tap them together, and then press them back to hip distance. Tap together, hip distance apart. So you're tapping and you're not winging them all the way out to the sides, you're just keeping them nice and tight. Little taps in, squeeze your inner thighs. Draw in the sides of your waist a little more, tuck your tailbone for another 4, 3, inner thighs squeeze, hips are lifted. Last one, hold up. Center your feet and then roll back down to the ground. Take your legs up into the air and take a hamstring stretch. Maybe take some mobility through the ankles. Roll your feet around in space. Draw the legs in towards you. You can lift your head up towards your knees as well if you like, and just take a little bit of a rock over the lower back. And then come back to a neutral position. Feet on the ground, knees bent, reset. This time, take your feet as wide as your mat, toes turn out, and lift up into a pelvic curl. Lower back down to the ground. Lift, exhale, lower, inhale. Lift and lower. You have another 4, 3, 2, press your upper arm bones down, and 1, holding up. Halfway down and lift. Just halfway. Lifting with the exhale. Your breath is shorter, sharper and shallower. And we're starting to work more into the outer hips. Another 4. Tuck your tailbone for 3, 2, Draw in through your lower belly, hold up, pulse your knees out and back in, out and in. Just little movements like a flutter of the knees out. Try to keep your hips up so the knees aren't coming in yet. They're staying really wide, and it's just a little press out for 3, 2, 1. Hold here. Now keep the soles of your feet flat on the ground. Nothing moves except your knees start to draw in. Tuck your tailbone and try to press inner thighs toward each other, but keep the soles of your feet down. Don't let the outer edges of your feet peel up. Knees track in, and then slowly bring the legs back out into that wide knee position. You have another 3, just like that. Slowly in, tailbone tucked, and open. 2 more. Stay with it. Press your upper arm bones down so your shoulders can help support you here. Whole body strong. Last 1, in, slow. Keep the feet pressing firmly into the ground. And out. Breathe in. Roll down to the ground. And then take a release. Anything that feels good for you. Might feel nice to place feet back toward the sky and stretch out the backs of the legs again. And then take a figure 4, right ankle over left thigh, draw it in to your degree. Maybe you're holding onto the back of the leg, or maybe you've even still got that left foot on the ground and you're just pressing that right knee away. And then switch sides. So you can press or draw in, hands behind thigh, or if you like, hands over your shin. Breathe in. And breathe out. Soles of your feet to the ground, hands interlaced behind your head. Elbows stay wide. Breathe in. Exhale, chest float, ribs toward your hips. Inhale, back down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Inhale to ground. Keep on moving like this. As you lift your chest, hold. Right leg extends, then bring the right leg back in and lower your chest to the ground. Nice and smooth movement. Exhale, lift and extend the left leg. Inhale, return. Foot to ground, back to ground. Curl up, right leg extends. And in. Left side. And in. One more time, either side. Try to keep the backs of your hips pressing down onto the ground so you're not rocking from side to side. This time, right knee floats. So it's up into tabletop, your left foot stays on the ground. Curl up and twist toward that right leg, obliques. Elbows stay wide, eyes are lifted. Head is heavy in your hands. It almost presses into your hands. And then return, right side only. So stay with the left knee floating and lift and twist. You have another 4. Exhale on the twist. 2 and 1. Left side, knee floats, curl up, twist. Get your form right, and then return and twist. Another 4, 3, try to keep that right elbow wide, think shoulder toward knee. Last 1, up, hold for a sec, and back down, return. Knees to chest, take a little rock and roll. All right, legs toward the ceiling. Stretch out the backs of the legs. Bring the soles of your feet to the ground, mat distance apart. Arms reach up overhead and take your knees over to the right. And feel a nice big stretch through the front of the left thigh and up into the hip. Breathe in. And take it over to the other side as you breathe out. Big stretch, big breaths into that right lung. back to center. Interlace hands behind your head. We're going to take that up a notch. You can either stay with what we were doing before with feet on the ground and taking that leg hover, or come up to tabletop with both knees. Curl up, toe tap right toes to ground. Inhale, return. Exhale, curl, tap left toes. Another 4. Ribs toward your hips, draw your abdominals down toward your back, toward your spine. Last 2. Obliques in 1. So this time, when your right toes tap the ground, you twist to your left. Back to center. Left toes to ground, twist to your right. Back to center. Exhale as you twist, inhale to return. Another 3. Actually, now it's 3. 2. 1. And down. Cool. Legs to tabletop, arms on the ground beside you. So knees are bent, toes are pointed. Draw your belly in, left side waist really pulls down as your right leg hovers out toward the side of your mat. Then you extend that right leg, draw the knee back into a bench position, and then bring it back to center. Left leg out to the side, extend, bend, and center. So the leg that's staying at center, you keep drawing down through the back of that hip. You don't want that hip to peel up. You want your lower back to feel like it's shoving itself into the ground. One more time, right side and left side. Beautiful. Rock up to a boat position or a teaser prep. So hips on the ground, heels on the ground, toes are flexed up, arms reach, draw your belly in, scoop it in, and then press your back further back as your fingertips reach forward so you come into a C curve with the spine. Then lift up with the breath in, exhale back. Lift breath in, exhale C curve. One more time up. This time instead of a C curve, draw back your shoulder blades and come down to earthquake because you shake, right? This is a really strong position here. You're gonna hold at the point where you feel like you've still got control over your core, but it's really challenging to hold yourself up against gravity. And then hover your right foot off the ground, replace it slowly. Left foot hovers, replace slowly. Right arm this time lifts and down to shoulder height, lift the left. Shoulder height, give yourself a squeeze, tuck yourself into a little ball, sit up, and then you're gonna come on over to your belly. Whoa, it's already been 13.5 minutes. All right, so come on down. We've just got a little bit of posterior chain strength to finish off. W position with the arms, right ear to the ground. As you next breathe out, lift your chest, press into your arms, squeeze your glutes, and tuck your tailbone so it feels like you're pressing pubic bone or the fronts of your hips down into the ground. And then left ear to ground on a breath in. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. This time when you lift, arms hover, squeeze from the shoulder blades and lower. Squeeze the shoulder blades to lift the arms and down. Lats have to switch on too. Backs of armpits really strong and down. Lift, hold here, connect your heels, maybe hover your feet off the ground as well. So your feet are in a V shape, and then you're gonna bring your feet in and out. I don't mind if your feet are touching the ground or if they're hovering the whole time. Hamstring switching on, slow this down, especially if you start to feel twinges in the backs of your legs. You have 3. Press the fronts of your hips down, scoop up through your belly button. 2. Last 1. Hold the heels in towards your butt, lift your knees a little higher, breathe in, and then make a pillow for your forehead with your hands. Release the feet and rock your hips from side to side. And there you go.